The first game of Playday number 3 at the HCL. It is Team Paper going up against PPP. Both teams in the league so far with 1 victory and 1 loss. Starting to the left side now in our best of 1 here in Garden of Terror, we have PPP with Luvi on the right wing, Gela on the Abathur, Vipolino playing the Chen as the tank today, Payne jumped on the Illidan as Zeratul was banned, as was Stitches, Bakery with a false step, and of course to the right side we have our Polish team. Starting in red here, Team Paper with Xoltro on the Nazebo, Psycho on the Arthurs, we have Leo from Korea on the Uther, ADRD on the Tacita, and Nika is playing the Tychus today. So, in our match today, one of those teams will end up being with a 2-1 and starting into the upper half of the ranking. Right now, both of these teams have the exact same score in the league. We are on our 3rd Playday, and currently they're set up with 3 heroes up at the top lane, and in the mid lane we have Bakery going up against the Arthurs, against Psycho. We have down to the bottom lane Luvi and Payne dealing with a Nazebo, which is an interesting pick. Nazebo, one of those characters who will have to be careful, especially against the Illidan, of course. He doesn't really have an escape. The only thing that he can do is throw down one of his walls of zombie and then just like try to move away from that. But he doesn't really have anything that like no gap closer, nothing that just really gets him away from the target. At the same time now, we have with a false set a really good hero here on the side of PPP with the Illidan on Payne. Do quite a lot here. Payne didn't get his Zeratul today. The Brightwing, of course, has received quite a buff in the last patch, especially thanks to how Rewind was changed. Now he can go for a double polymorph, which is absolutely phenomenal. On the other hand, we have the Polish team, Team Paper here, with the Arthurs as the frontliner. Arthurs versus Chen is basically the setup with the tanks that we have there. And PPP is starting extremely aggressive into the match now. With them having a triple line, a tri-lane up to the top, they're trying to burst through that first tower already. And now as night falls, they're already in position to just get like the first seeds. And on Garden of Terror, it's really all about the collection of those seeds. The earlier plans might not be strong enough to really do a lot of damage. They usually just nick the front walls, or like are able to take down one of the walls. But then later on in the end, those plans are just like so incredibly strong that if you cannot counter your opponent's plan with one on your own, you find yourself in a lot of trouble. So the battle for the seeds is already on, and so far it has been a quite even split, especially since we are now seeing the next few taken by PPP, so 30-30. Per night there's 180 additional seats on the line, and at this point with already 60 taken, there's another 60 in the plant up here, another 60 down here at that bottom Shambler, so those are the ones that you can still take out. A tri-lane with Gela all the way out there. She used Promote again. Gela actually one of the few Abathurs that I've seen so far after the last patch that still uses Promote on level 4 and tries to play Abathur the old school style. Promote received another quite pretty big change actually, and can now only be will only be active for 15 seconds on a minion, which of course changes the way that you have to deal with the talent a lot. Oh, nearly the trap on Payne. Oh wow, he's actually about to get me dropped here. That and Venom nearly took him out, but Brightwing saving him for now. The problem is that Vipolino is not getting away. Very well done here by Team Paper. They get their first kill, move in, take that shot and drop the Chen. Good kill by them, and that of course gives them additional seats now too. The first plant will be in their hands, and we have them also in a slight leading experience right now. So really well done from the Polish team. Up to the top lane, we are currently seeing Gela just trying to hold experience with the Abathur. The important thing to note is that with Abathur, you do not get experience for minions that die near to your locus. Only the Abathur Hat and the Abathur Mines give experience. So and of course the body itself, but you never really want to be out on the map with the body. So there is a misconception by a lot of people that haven't really played Abathur a lot, that when something dies or is killed by your locust, then you will get experience as well. That is not true. So locusts are exempt for that, something that you need to keep in mind. So the Abathur really has to commit to a lane when he wants to soak the experience up there. We have the plan for Team Paper moving into the bottom lane now, and there we go. The Knights will not stand a chance there. That's a problem when you take like a few mercenary camps just before the plant spawns. The plant just has to move into the lane, drop the pot, and then all those mercenaries that you really worked hard for are just like gone in an instant. So right now we have already have the wall taken. The towers are taken, but the wall itself, or I should probably say the gate, hasn't been taken yet. but they are really starting to apply a lot of pressure there. And if they, for example, would take down that additional well there, that would be the best thing, I guess, for them at this point. Just because, like, you make sure that your opponent's lane is a lot weaker since they can't heal up any longer at that spot. So of course, great when that happens in mid lane, since it's frequently used when you move from like the bottom lane to the top. But so far, Paper is doing a decent job at wrecking those towers, and with them giving experience now after the latest patch, that's a pretty big deal. You can really see how they are starting to pull ahead in experience, especially with the last tower here taken. It's nearly a level, not quite, but still, it adds up over time, and that will give them a faster 10 most likely. We have them right now with the entire team still roaming the map, and they're actually like looking for an opportunity to maybe gank them, and they see that. So that gank is gonna be real, and they might be able to catch the Brightwing here. Luvi is already in trouble, he's being dropped, and Chen, oh, he caught the mercenaries, but he pays with his life for that. Or maybe doesn't he? No, he does. So he goes down as well, and oh my god, Pain stunned and also forced back with a grenade. Nearly died here too. Very well done again by Paper. They lose experience on the lanes, of course, because of it, but they still take down two of their opponent's heroes, and that allows them a bit more map control that they can reuse to maybe get again. Also like one of the night camps. But which is quite important is that they were actually in a spot where they did lose experience on the lanes, since we had PPP still getting experience on the mid lane and the bottom lanes thanks to the two heroes that they have there. Kayla is completely out on the map with the Abathur for the promote, and she's actually doing work. Kayla is doing quite a lot of work here, pushing that tower at the bottom lane and taking that down. That gives them level 10 now as well. So let's take a quick look at the talents that we have there. We see currently for the Nazeebo here, the Death Ritual taking, Gathering Power, and the Gitbit. All of those talents currently for him. Focus from the Tastar on the Storm. Promote for him, by the way, as well. So Promote still being used despite the changes that we saw in the last patch, which is actually something that we need to point out here. Many people have said that the talent would be completely useless after the change, which is apparently not the case. So right now we have Team Paper trying to initiate against the Arthurs, but he's already moving back. Pain is being took. Wow, that was fast. And the stun, that was a great stun by Uther. Leo from Korea doing so much damage there. Stunning 3, and they drop nearly all of them. They're only Vippolino. No, Vippolino dies too. Vippolino actually dies as well. Oh my god, like really, really well done there by Team Paper. Great job by them. Now looking down to the bottom, at least since the middle of the map, we now have seeds collected for the team again. We have actually like Nika moving in with the damage on the Tychus. We have the entire team just like claiming the big Shambler. And they can also just go down to the bottom lane and then also try to take down the second one, at least interrupt Pain here. Pain is only getting a couple of those, but not too much. So right now, I feel like he's going to get a few of the seeds, but as soon as Team Paper arrives, he needs to move back. It's 6 kills against 0 already. PPP is really starting to lose the edge here. We have only 1 level advantage at this point for Team Paper, but the Polish team is doing a pretty nasty job there against PPP, and it's gonna get tricky once that they hit level 13. That's an extra talent that they get. They have the plants now as well. They get another 60 seeds right down there, and that puts now PPP in a pretty awkward situation. They don't have a plan. So the next plan that we're going to see for the Polish team, that is going to spawn in just a few seconds, that can really start to hurt. And with hurt I mean take down forts. Once you start losing forts, you lose presence on the map, you lose of course also experience. And that's exactly what we're going to see right now. Gela is trying to make up for that with the Abathur, but so far we don't have level 16. That's when Abathur really unfolds a lot of his strength. She doesn't even have the 13 on him just yet. And that means that we don't have those exploding locusts, and that alone is already a great deal of what makes the siege damage of Abathur. We have now the plant moving in at the bottom, and not even resistance by the opponent's team. So the pot is not even contested there. Well, right now they do, starting to move in at least, but it looks pretty grim. They got the 13 though, so we have level 13 versus 13. Right now the fight is kind of even when you only look at the talents and at the levels, but we have of course that plant mixing in as well, and with that plant they are just like doing way too much damage, as you can see right here. So plant is already starting to move in again. Leo from Korea is waiting for the heals there. and PPP is pressured back. They can't really do anything there. They have to move back, have to take it slow, have to wait that plant out or try to burst it down, which they do right now. But another tower is already gone, and the second one is about to fall. Here comes the Odin for the Tigers. We have the double fall stat. I'm gonna try and X the hero out, waiting for the double fall stat ultimate. Here comes the plant. The plant is gone. Bibelino is in trouble though. Goes for the triple panda. Goes for Storm, Earth, and Fire. And here comes Team PPP now trying to move in. Paper is still there. Here comes the panda, and there's the first shock and awe. Doesn't really do too much. And that setup here for Khaldor was amazing. But the polymorph, he was apparently still in vision range, and then he got polymorphed immediately. Great job by Luvi, but he dies then again after he was able to shut down the Nzebo for now, and that of course turns it into the 5 versus 3 with the panda already dead. And immediately Paper moves in again, drops the clone on the Abathur, has a really good shot at killing another hero, but for now they just move back. They're all half HP. Actually, they try to move in again. I think they're just going to attempt to burst down the keep and then move out. And they should, because the panda is back now. So they get the keep, they take it on, 1,300 additional experience. Bibelino is, oh, wow, even with that, they're trying to just unhorse the Uther so that it can make him jump on him. That didn't really work here. So, good job by Team Paper. 8 kills versus 0. Really solid game by them so far. Looking at the talents here, we have with Nzebo and the Uther, 2 heroes that rely on sprint at this point. The Distortion Beam for the Tacita, who still is trying to use his promote here, and of course for Gela the Assault Strain. Night is falling again, and that's really the time when PPP has to make a stand. I know they don't have the 16 yet, which is quite bad for them, but at least PPP did get a fort up here, so they were able to drop that. Abathur is just doing his thing. The real difficulty is right now to get those seeds and make sure that they at least get a plant. They only need 11 to get a plant. They need to make sure that there's not going to be 2 plants for Team Paper back to back. That's also another thing that they have to take care of. So the first 2 camps are taken, 1 hard camp and 1 easy camp, and now Paper is actually trying to intercept PPP right down at the bottom. They don't even move for the plants up at the top. They want to go straight in here to contest that, but it looks like, oh, Team Paper, yeah, they're gonna get the drop on PPP. They're gonna get the drop on Bibelino, Abathur, and now Brightwing are also in here, so it is that 5 versus 5 fight that we've been waiting for, but PPP has to move back. They got their plant though. They got the plant, which is the important part. So now it just goes straight onto the Shambler for Team Paper. They're trying to just like get the surplus and seeds. That means taking the bottom seeds and taking the top seeds. For Team PPP, we have actually seen everything that they needed to do. They got the first seeds. They would probably love to just like go up to the top and take at least the small camps there, but they don't want to be caught out of position. If one of their heroes dies right now, they lose the entire edge that they had with that additional plant. They move as 3 again, now that the plant is close, so that gives them a bit more safety, and they're starting to move in again and to take a few seeds. 16 versus 16, so at least the talents are the same, but we have Team Paper still waiting for their own plant, and it's not there yet, so a few more seeds for PPP, and that's exactly what they need here. They need to close that gap in seeds so that in the next night they still have a chance to get a counter plant. That's where the battle comes into play now though. Oh, and the stun on the ADRD. Still trying to move in and do some damage, maybe like polymorph Luby here and get a drop on him, but Gela is extremely low in the plant already for her team, so she needs to be careful here. But yeah, and the plant is just like, they completely dropped it for me. So they might be able to get another plant out of this, and it looks like they will, yes. So it's 2 plants back to back that Team PPP has to deal with right now. As soon as Gela jumps out of the plant, I guess she can hop down to the bottom lane and try to push that in. There's already a Infinity Wave going in for PPP. And that's the Abathur. Gela just barely able to move away. Wow, that was a close one. She actually jumped into the Chen form. So she's gonna pop up here again once that the Chen form is dropped. That ultimate saved her in the last second. The Abathur just like burned into the ground and then came back. But yeah, if they remember that and they drop Gela there, which they currently do, then they can take down the Abathur. Here comes on the other hand the plan. Oh, the shock and awe against Nika. trying to drop him here, but he's still in Odin form. It is the Arthurs though that's the problem, and Psycho goes down. The first kill for Team PPP, and again Xoljo with the ultimate. The Polymorph is there. Luvi doing a great job keeping tabs on him, and he's actually surrounded, but it doesn't matter too much. The Illidan is dying in the meantime. Gala is being dropped, and once she's dead, there's the Abathur, and this time she's not getting away. They remembered where the Abathur was. They get the drop on him, so now it's a 4 versus 3. Well, 1 versus 3 in kills, and it's a 4 versus 2 if there's a 1, and that should allow them to get another fort there. Shouldn't be a problem for them to just move into the middle, get that fort, drop it real fast, and then take plan number 2, which is probably going to happen when the Arthurs is back, and then take it from there. We have 14 minutes in, and looking at the talents, the 16th is of course what interests us here. Brightwing, Standard talent with Criterize. We have the Locust Brute, the triple Locust here for Abathur. Also the same thing for like the Chen, going of course for the flying kick talents here. So pretty much what you would expect in a game like this, with the stone skin being used on 2 heroes, as Nika is trying to just keep himself alive a bit longer with this. Right now 18 versus 17, so PPP is still doing a decent job when it comes to staying close with experience. But level 20 is going to hit at some point, and now they are in a pretty bad position when it comes down to that. Those camps up here, they start to do some damage, but it looks like PPP actually just like tries to jump in and take that fort, and for very good reason. It's very, very low, so Pain takes that easily, but they might have to trade for the fort up at the top, because that's where we are seeing Team Paper headed now, and I do not think that it's going to be fast enough for PPP to be there in time. Xoljo is still there. They're actually destroying the walls first. Now as Arthurs moves in. Well, we have most of the team PPP players already in the mid lane, but the plan is of course now on the way as well. They're not going to stop with that fort. That's not the idea here. The idea here is to drop a keep or at least breach the wall, and that's why we see them move in. Level 19 versus just about to be level 18 for Team PPP. Here comes ADRD trying to just like drop 1 tower, 2 towers easily, and that plant is just like going ham. He has another 15 seconds on it too, so they can then start to do some serious damage there. And they also, I mean, Gala is still at the bottom lane, trying to push that lane with the triple Locust, but that keep up here is in trouble, and they have so much time on that plant, and the plant is actually extremely tanky right now. Vippolino in trouble as well. Nice move here with the Polymorph against the Brightwing. Oh, yeah, using the sprint again, trying to get Vippolino down. He tries to escape there. That keep is gonna fall. And here comes the Turtle Panda. Oh, the X-out attempt on the Arthurs. That didn't work for him. Leo from Korea low in HP, but surviving after all, going for Pain. There comes the quick stun against the Illidan. Illidan was prepared though and got away, but Vippolino is in trouble again, and he drops. The Chen is out, and now they just move straight into the main of the base and go for the core. Team Paper is on a killing spree right now. They have 12 kills against only 1. They are about to hit the level 20, and they are up against opponents that are on an 18 right now. We have only the Chen dead, and not even a lot of damage done to the core just yet. Only 10%, and the Mule is doing overtime to just heal that up as fast as he can. But the turnaround against Luvi, yes, he might be able to get that. Oh, wow, close. The Abathur actually saving him there with a shield. Well done by Gala. But the plants are up again, or the seeds, I should say. So we see the move into the middle of the map by Team Paper right away, taking down just like 1 seed camp after another and claiming those. And PPP is trying the same thing. They're moving to the bottom of the map, trying to claim those seeds, because they realize, well boys, if we don't do it right now, then we're gonna have to fight against like 2 plants again, and we just can't afford that. We just can't. We need to do something about it, and we need to do something about it now. I mean, right now. So we have Pain, Luvi, and Bakery taking the camps. They move back as they see the opponents moving in. It's level 20 versus 19. So the one thing that they try to avoid at any cost now is getting into a fight. They just can't do that. Getting to a fight is absolutely insane if you're up against level 20. And that's something that they are trying to dodge as much as they can. Especially, of course, when you're up against the Annihilating Spirit, when you have the Divine Hurricane against you, which is such an amazing talent. The Twilight Archon and the Big Red Button. Really, really great setup there. It's actually like the old school setup that we've seen for Bloodlust comps. These days it's a bit different. But yeah, clan growing for one team, not for the other. Here comes that Spirit again. Doesn't really hit anything. Oh, but it connects with Luby, and that might drop the Brightwing. We already have one hero dead. The Brightwing speeding himself up and getting away. The Illidan has been dropped, and that should be enough time for them to not only get the mercenaries, but maybe even start to move in with that plant. And there's another 45 seconds on the Illidan, and that plant is not going to take too long to cross the map. So they're going to just like hit one of the pots there. Yep, there it is. Dropping all of the mercenaries, and now they'll walk straight into the middle. Which surprises me a little bit. I would have thought that they would just like try to meet up at the top and then go straight for the core, but they don't do that. They are actually putting pressure onto the mid wall instead. Or at least that's what should happen there. There's the pot. Disables the towers and starts to get them already low, so they get that as well. We are very close to the level 24 PPP zone, though, and that Illidan is getting back into the game with just 2 seconds remaining on the timer. So at the bottom lane, Gela is moving in with the triple locust. She's already up against 3 catapults here. You still haven't like completely figured out how those catapults work. Sometimes you just like feel you have a lane with 8 of them, and right now we have like basically one wave. There were 3 catapults just outside the gate. It's always a bit weird because it's just still one catapult that spawns per wave, so it's a bit odd. Be that as it may, in the mid lane, that's where the real battle happens, as ADRD is still on the plant. That Vigor button nuke there, not doing any damage just yet to the players, but at least it hits the keep as well. So they drop keep number 2. Team Paper is on an absolute roll right now, and what PPP needs is a wipe, and an X out would really help them, but they don't get it, and that's the big problem. ADRD might drop out of the plant soon, and there it is, but that Annihilating Spirit and the stun that we see from the Uther drop now 2 heroes. The Chen also dying, but at least he has Resurgence and is coming back with only 3 heroes up against 5. I just don't think that he will be able to defend that core though. There comes the Mule already moving in, just trying to somehow do that. But yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Arthas might actually die here, but you can see their HP racing down on the core. Arthas is down, but the rest of the team just right-clicks that core into oblivion. Now we have also 2 more being killed, but it does not matter. Team Paper, the Polish team, they win the match against PPP. They're now 2-1 in the league in the HCL. Congratulations to Team Paper and the victory over PPP. The second match on the third Playday at the HCL is the match between nFaculty and Millenium, aka El Nexo. Starting to the left side of our best of 1 map Dragonshire, we have in blue nFaculty with Cypher on the Tacita, Exxon on the Arthas, Holo on Vala, Lotus is playing the Illidan, and green out the Brightwing. To the right side it is Millenium, aka El Nexo, with the Spanish Armada with Vortex on the Abathur, LOL vs XD on the Anubarak, Gran Paquete with the Uther, Lucifer playing the Chen, and Alistair playing the Falstad. And we have actually a very curious pattern when it comes to picks and bans for this match. And nFaculty banning out the Stitches, and then we saw a ban on the Tychus. Or was it the other way around? Like Tychus and Stitches were both banned, and then we had as the first pick yeah, actually for Team El Nexo, aka Millenium, the Abathur. But the way that nFaculty started their draft, it really looked for a long time like they would go for a hammer as the last hero in the game, which didn't really happen. So they went for a Brightwing over an Uther and picked the Brightwing in their first pick, in their first double pick, which was actually quite a surprise. So I'm a little bit like speechless that we do not see a hammer right now. Picking the Brightwing over an Uther is something that I have personally never seen in a competitive game, unless you wanted to go for some kind of like Bloodlust build, which was not the case there. So they really seem to prefer the Brightwing now that we have the Rewind talent changed and the Brightwing with the double polymorph that you can go for. So it's going to be an interesting match, I feel, and let's see if that Illidan that they picked last is working out in their favor. I personally think that especially with the Illidan, the Uther would have been such a great asset, since you can just simply go for the quick burst heal there, but of course you don't fall into that risk that your hero just like gets polymorphed. So apparently a polymorph in Disable is just like worth this much to them. For now, we have like a tri-lane for both teams down at the bottom of the map, which is not really a surprise in Dragonshire. It's the current meta that we have. We have for Team El Nexo, for Team Millenium, We have currently also the Abathur together with Nubarak, which has received quite a lot of nerfs in the last patch since Rewind was completely taken away from him, and also his heals and his shields got weakened, so he's a lot more squishier than he was before, but he's still a good initiator. He's still a good initiator for those matches. Oh, Alistair actually moving down, trying to assist the team, and here comes the initiation against Exxon. Exxon on the Arthurs receives a lot of damage, but he moves back then in the end. Though we have Lotus on the Illidan starting to move in here and taking, starting to actually like damage Lucifron. I don't know exactly if that Illidan skin that we see there, if I think that it's awesome or if I think that he looks a little bit like a scuba diver with that thing. So I'm not quite sure if I really like that. The master skin on Illidan is pretty sick though, especially the blue one. So Blizzard did a really good job with that. Well, actually getting a bit helped by the Abathur, and you can really see that both of those things are already low. So, like with both of those things, I mean both of the ammunitions on the towers is low. Down to the bottom, the Uther actually was taken down here in an engagement. But yeah, I really like the way that they use the Abathur here. So that kill just for a second set aside, you can really see how Lucifron is starting to push that wall in, and the Abathur is just jumping in. Lucifron is hitting the keg. The Abathur supplies him with a shield, and both towers just like waste their ammunition on the Chen. And then he can just simply like take now the structures together with the rest. And that forces, of course, a reaction out of nFaculty. They need to move up to the top with the Tacita and just help out here a little bit. Even Brightwing is now moving in, and with that they might be able to drop him. Abathur is already helping him out, and I don't think that Chen is going to die anytime soon, but on the other hand, he could actually. He's being chased pretty hard, and there's no Uther to help him. But is Lotus going to die as a result? No, he's not. Moves back just in time, gets a shield from the Tacita, so they get the kill against the Chen, but he killed 2 towers and the entire wall. Both teams are now angling towards that first Dragon Knight, and we have in the mid lane the attempt to get it, but already the top tower, the bottom tower is about to be taken. Down goes the Arthurs as Lolver60 moves in again. Holo moves out. Dragon Knight so far averted. Holo needs to be extremely careful. Just barely saved in the last second there by Greenout. So well done by him. The Brightwing already paying off. But El Nexo is in the lead. Millenium is in the lead with nearly level 8 versus 7. And if you're wondering, like, oh, actually, mid lane, that could be the Dragon Knight. And it is for Alistair. Millenium, aka El Nexo. They get the Dragon Knight there and they start to move in, taking down those towers, going straight for them. Getting the first one here, immediately being dropped, and there's no rotation so far. So down to the bottom lane, we still have that fight between the tri-lanes. We have the Arthurs together with the Brightwing, and also the Vala starting to move in even more, as Grand Paquette and Lolver60 are assisted by the Abathur. The Dragon Knight is still there, not doing too much just yet. Let's have a quick look at what exactly is going on with the Vala here. The Siphoning Arrow build for the heals, again with Manticore then on 4, and Repeating Arrow being used. It's a build that we see a bit more often these days. We've been talking about this yesterday already. It has been a time when we saw nearly exclusively multi-shot build, which is currently not being played this often anymore. You still see it though, but yeah, the teams just like shift around with the builds that they use on Vala. It's very much like a question of personal taste, I feel. Personal preference, whatever you want to do there. 10 is nearly on the board for Team El Nexo, for Millenium, and that will give them the rogue ability, which will allow them to push in even more. 2 kills for nFaculty versus 1 for the Spanish Armada, though, and that gives them, of course, at least the lead in the kills, but they still have some work to do if they want to catch up with that, and that includes getting the Knights down at the bottom. Catching that Bruiser camp is helping. In the mid lane, they're also getting up more experience as well, trying to go for that. And down to the bottom lane, let's see what we have there. We have actually like Abathur together with those mercenaries starting to like push the Bruiser camp back. No real meetup at level 10 and trying to do something with it. Instead, just the attempt to get more experience. We still have up at the top lane Abathur and Lucifron trying to take down Lotus here. Look at that fort. Like, it's actually incredible how Lucifron is really putting pressure on that fort. Brightwing jumps in again, but this time it's only... No, here's the Tacita, and that might kill Lucifron again. Nope. Nope. Illidan is not ready He's not prepared, he's not in range. But that one hero, that Chen, together with a bit of Abathur support, is really starting to drop the fort at the top lane. He already took down both of the towers, and he's starting to become extremely aggressive against the fort as well. The shots are down, the ammunition is gone, and that is starting to become a really big problem. Lucifron, just with a quick peek what's happening over there, and jumping into the mid lane to pressure Cypher. The shrines are going to be active in a very short time. There we have the attack against Xon. Shock and awe! But more important, the Rain of Vengeance being dropped in Grand Paquete on the Uther, just barely getting out of there. Same is true for the Arthurs, who also had to use his Army of the Dead, which is why we are currently seeing him back to full health, but he got very low in that last fight. Now we also have him just like moving down to the bottom again, and Grand Paquete, and also of course the Anubara can't really do too much here to get that shrine. At the top lane though, Lucifron claimed the Sun Shrine, and that will allow, oh my god, like yeah, that camp is definitely gonna take that down. There's just no way. Mercenary Lord apparently taken here on I guess the Anubarak, or which hero took that. I actually can't find it right now. Where is it? There we go. Yep, the Nubarak with the Mercenary Lord. That helps the push, has more hit points, and therefore takes down the top 4. Level 13, a lot faster here for Millenium than it is for Team nFaculty. nFaculty at the bottom lane is finding themselves in a pretty big fight, especially with Vortex now jumping straight into a copy of the Falstad. They have a double Shock and Awe available in a few seconds. And that is going to become extremely difficult to hold now. The mid lane, yes, there's the Dragon Knight. Illidan here, just too late to do anything about it and avert that. So now we have Lucifron moving straight into the middle, starting to go down on the well, and also with the first Breath of Fire. But down at the bottom lane, that's where another 2 towers are about to go down. No, Lolliver 60 actually going into the middle. They're trying to catch Exxon. Exxon is in trouble, uses the Army of the Dead. Here comes the Emerald Wind, pushing the copy of the Falstad out, and that's being taken out. Grand Paquete is in trouble as well, just uses the sprint at the last moment and moves away. Here comes Lucifron still and kicks the Arthurs, but it's still a 5 versus 4. They're trying to go for the Arthurs. This time he doesn't have his heroic ability, but they are not able to drop either the fort down at the bottom lane nor the one in the mid lane. Good defense by nFaculty. They're still behind, but they are doing a good job defending against all those Dragon Knights that Elnexo is able to sneak in. Oh, but Holo gets dropped this time. And there goes the DPS. This might allow them to take the fort after all. Lucifron has still 4 seconds on the Dragon Knight. He didn't get caught out of that. Yep, that tower is already going down. That's even more experience that we have now on the board for Millenium. And they're doing really well with this. They're starting to rotate again, claiming the Knights, and move in to take down Illidan, and might be able to catch another one out as well. Exxon is in trouble on the Arthurs here. They are turning around against Lucifron, but there should be a heal by Grand Paquete in a second. They just drops his ultimate and says like, yeah, easy peasy and no problem here. Once again, the Mercenary Lords being used on this one, and that will allow them to push the top lane at the same time as they are starting to just like move back to just heal up the mana, go straight for the hit point regeneration as well, and the well, and then we might see them just like go down, take maybe the Bruiser camp right here, because at this point they still have the map control. They're closing into the level 16, which is going to be important, and with the Mercenary Lord Knight camp pushing in the top lane, nFaculty has to defend here. So the next camp is already being used here. Siege Giants also promoted by the Mercenary Lords, and another camp being taken at the bottom lane. These are going to be extremely difficult to stop. They have so many more hit points if you actually have that talent. And it's interesting that this is going to be used. Not really the standard build that we see for this hero. On the other hand then, since the patch, there hasn't really been a standard build for him, since it hasn't seen this much action yet. Besides that, we have bribes also for the Falstad and the Brightwing. We see now just like moving in at the bottom lane, and with those 2 mercenary camps, it's extremely difficult to stop that. 16 talent will allow the Abathur to be a lot more aggressive on the map. Vortex is already doing that, probably just like boring up into the middle, and there's a triple Locust immediately trying to drop that. Down at the bottom, the fort has been taken out, and this is gonna start to put a lot of pressure onto the fort that is so low in HP. Without a mule to really help that, this is gonna fall as well. they can't really defend that. So this is falling to 800 experience points now go to Team El Nexo, aka Millenium. Like, they play for Millenium right now in the HCL. In other tournaments, they're still known as El Nexo, which makes the whole thing a bit confusing. But yeah, we'll start calling them Millenium a bit more consistently here. The bottom lane shrine has been taken by nFaculty, and that allows them to make sure that there's no third Dragonite just yet, but they're still waiting for the level 16. And if you're at 15, you don't really want to fight an opponent that has an extra talent on you. That's extremely difficult to deal with, so they are just like trying to get the experience, but they might not have a choice here, and they will have to fight if they don't want to get a Dragonite against them. So there comes the attempt to move in, but oh, they are actually being caught out. Holo is getting nearly dropped, and there comes the second shotgun. Oh, down goes one of the heroes. The Vala is gone, and Exxon is also dying, with two of them splitting off, the Brightwing and the Tassadar. There was just like nothing that the remaining two could do, and now of course it's going to be another Dragonite for Millenium. And with two heroes down, this Dragonite could mean, or will probably mean, that we see one of the keeps fall. 20 seconds before the Arthurs is going to come back. This is going to be nasty. This is going to be extremely nasty. There we go. We have already the first and the second tower taken out at the wall. The Abathur is jumping up to the top lane and going straight for the triple locust again, together with the Mercenary Lord promoted minions that we see there. And this keep is not doing all too well. The Arthurs is back, but he's not in the fight just yet. And the Dragonite just like goes ham and just hammers down on that keep. Now they try to initiate here, but they are losing that keep for sure. Just no way. Doing some work there. And also, like, look at that wave. Arthurs is trying to stop it, but the entire wall is already breached. Means it's a 4 versus 5 in the mid lane. And, well, we don't have an Abathur copy, but still, this is just doing damage. And Arthurs alone is just, like, standing against the flood of minions that is streaming in. All those turrets, and the turret and the 4 are both nearly out of ammo. Down to the bottom lane, we still have like Vortex on the Abathur. Apparently, what did he do there? Apparently dropped another triple locust and then moved back. Once more, Mercenary Lord coming into play. They really do that extremely well, that the Anubarak is always there to use the Mercenary Lord, so it's apparently a big part of their strategy, and they do it well with that. The stun against the falls is actually extremely well done to make sure that he doesn't get his heroic ability off. He's escaping over and over. You see that rewind that he used there to get the double barrel roll? Now he gets the ulti off, and that drops Lotus. Lotus gets killed by the Uther, actually. By the Uther soul, or the ghost that is still there. Very well done. It's a 1 for 2 though, because in the end the Anubarak and the Uther both died. So 4 kills against 6. In kills, it's actually not that big of a difference. Like a 2-kill difference is like nothing, but it's the forts that they've been taken out. And now, of course, we have Abathur just like jumping on a lane, dropping the locusts, using the Hearthstone to be back, get back to safety, heal up there. And we already have a counter kill now against the Vala. In the mid lane, they were able to jump her with Lucifron, Abathur, and then also Alistair on the fall stat. The bottom lane is being attacked, as we see that additional camp with the promote doing so much work there. And they can just like jump from one camp to another. They even just like steal the knights again. It's not so much like doing damage with the knights, but more like not allowing the opponent to get them, and therefore not allowing them to push back, to like use those knights to get some relief. That's the main idea behind it. So now we have the team moving in again, trying to just assemble. And for the last like 5 minutes, or let's say like 3 or 4 minutes, you can really see that basically we had nFaculty only in their own base. I think they moved out once in that time frame. Just like in their base, completely stuck, because they had to defend. It's becoming a problem for them. It's really becoming a problem. So now Grandpa Kette and the rest of his team down to the bottom lane, taking another bruiser camp. The shrines are up, and that's of course what both teams were waiting for. There was no need for nFaculty to move out of their base really before that happened, because there was no objective on the map. So they were just like trying to just sit tight, turtle up a little bit, get the experience, kill as many of the waves as they can. But now that we suddenly have a Dragon Knight in play once more, they need to do something about it, and they're just like trying to steal as many of those shrines as they can and delay it, because they know that at this point it's going to be very difficult, because level 20 is just around the corner for Millenium. And with level 20 and all, look at another mercenary camp is pushing in. Like, they take every single camp on the map, but the more important part is the level 20 that's going to be happening soon here. That will allow them to get the final talent, and if they are able to take another Dragon Knight as well, that would be brutal. That would be a very, very dangerous combination. Moving to the bottom. Oh, green out. Emerald Wind, but it's getting stunned and dropped. Yep, that's the cost when you just like move in and try to grab one of the shrines. Top lane, that's where we have the Abathur and the Mercenary Camp moving in. Also the mines there. The Abathur mines. And yes, that's going to be another Dragon Knight. That's the 4th Dragon Knight for them. 4 Dragon Knights in the game, not a single one for their opponent's team. And nFaculty, they have won every single game so far. And nFaculty, they played twice and they won every one of these 2 matches. But now they are playing against El Nexo, against Millenium, and that's a different story. Here comes the Illidan moving in. Oh my god, that stun from Grand Paquette. And they just go straight for the core. Millenium, they want this win. This victory is theirs. 50% on the core. Another stun against nFaculty. The Uther is down, but so is still the Brightwing, and it is GG as Millenium claims victory in their 2nd game in the HCL and takes down nFaculty. The 3rd game of the day, Ouiski Coca going up against Team AAA here at the HCL. And well, as you can see right now, we have currently to the left side of the map in blue Ouiski Coca with Whiskey himself on the Chen, Blowed on the Carrigan, Exploding on the Falstad, Nasty's playing the Tassadar, no tank today. We have Ravi on the Brightwing, and to the right side of the map we are currently looking at the red team. It is AAA with Siak on the Teriel, Sky High on the Arthurs, Darrow playing the Uther, Get 'em Hurt TV playing Abathur, and Von Thill playing the Tigers. So pretty cool builds that we have, or pretty cool comps that we have so far. The immediate fly in by exploding, Carrigan going straight into the Abathur mines and not liking that too much, I guess. And already being chased down. That Locust is on a mission, like moving straight down to the bottom. It's Larry the Locust, already dead. Larry is one of those guys that you will see a couple of times in the game just because he's very persistent. Like, he gets killed and then he's being revived and he moves in again. So yeah, that's actually like pretty cool to see here right now, that Larry is just like a fighter. Larry is a tough guy. He is already moving in, but he has a very short attention span, so once the duration moves out, he like loses his focus, and then he just like spawns again and comes in. Larry the Locust is on the way and is starting to move in, and Exploding, Ravi and Blowed, they don't like him too much for some reason, so he gets just like the entire day voll auf die Fresse, and therefore, yeah, we have him just like not doing too much just yet. But stupid German jokes aside, we have actually Carrigan just lying in wait here at the bottom lane. Dragonshire has once again the map for the best of 1 in the HCL. We have seen quite a few games, and so far Whiskey hasn't really done too well. They lost both of the games that they've been playing, and that leaves them, of course, in a very unfortunate situation at the bottom of the rankings. They want to change that today against AAA and take down the French team to make sure that they are getting at least their first kill here. We had for the bans in this game, Stitches and Zeratul both taken out. Up to the top, there's currently Whiskey on the Chen, and he claimed the shrine here. Darrow alone can't really do too much about it. The Brightwing was the last pick that we saw for Ouiski Coca, and Brightwing then later on with a double polymorph, thanks to the rewind, can especially try to shut down the Uther. Because Uther will try to run in and get the Divine Storm or the Divine Hurricane up against every single member of Whiskey's team. So therefore Brightwing gonna play a crucial role with that. Of course, Carrigan with the initiation and just her ability to jump in and lock down targets with a stun combo is something that can work really well too. And she will try and especially like focus down on that Tychus if she gets an opportunity to do that. For now, it's actually just like getting a few of the mercenaries, and that's where the combo between Falstad and Brightwing comes into play. Getting those bribe stacks in, and there's exactly that comp that I've been talking about. Carrigan jumping in and Tychus not standing a chance there whatsoever. They jump in, take him out, and goodbye DPS, at least for now. Up to the top, we currently have Whiskey versus Darrow, and this time it is the Generals to move back because Abathur is helping out the Uther and gives him at least a bit to work with. Larry once again trying to just accomplish something in his life, but he's a bit like Sisyphus. There's just like nothing that he can really do about that. Moving in, and it's not really working too well for him. So he's just like rushing on against this army and this like intense like battle between Larry and the rest of the world. Larry moving in again, and he just doesn't learn, does he? Like, he's always just running. He's like a lemming. He always moves to the left, always trying to accomplish something there, but it doesn't really work out for him. Up in the middle, now that both shrines belong to Team Ouiski Coca, we have the Tazada, Nasty just waiting for a bit of support, because alone he won't be able to contest Siak here. The Tyrael can easily interrupt any kind of channeling. The top lane, that's where we see the battle between Darrow and Ouiski. Chen and Uther going at each other. And down to the bottom lane, it's at the same time exploding currently with both Blade and with Ravi together, just trying to like somehow defend that shrine, and they do quite well so far. The problem for them is once one of the heroes moves away, they will most likely lose that. And now they are moving up in with the carry again. Oh, Siak in trouble. The stun comp is hitting, but actually not only one is hitting. Oh, and Siak tries to heal himself up and barely survives. Just barely. Yeah, doesn't die and has to be back as well. Uses the Hearthstone, B's back, but that of course like puts even more pressure on the remaining heroes in those lanes. The bottom shrine has been taken though, and Bloat is there to recapture that, and by that time that the shrine is recaptured, Siak should actually be back in the mid lane. But no, he's not. We see Nasty trying to claim it now, and he can... No! Abathar, oh my god, with a quick spike is able to deny it, at least for now. Well done. Siak is moving in, and by now the top shrine has been taken by Uther. Really nice moves by AAA, making sure that they are not going up against the Dragon Knight. Very well done. Good defense there. Especially considering how Siak was pressured in the mid lane, and Carrigan again, like Bloat is everywhere, just like trying to jump in, using the Ravage for that, and then immediately Primal Grass, Impaling Blades, like all of it just thrown down and trying to isolate one of the heroes and get him into a stun lock. They have a bit of an elite experience, Ouiski Coca, that has to be mentioned as well. They're going to reach the 10 a bit faster, and let's look at the talents here up to the 7. Of course we have the Envenom being taken by Arthur's and by the Carrigan. One of the reasons why an Arthur Carrigan like squad on the map is doing so much damage if one team picks up both of them. Bribe for both Falstad and Brightwing here too, and Chen actually with the Consuming Flame, so not going for the full focus on the flying kick build that we usually see here. Promote still taken by the Abathur, so he will have to be a lot more aggressive on the map if he really wants to make full use of that talent. The top lane, that what was that? Uther was like, wow. It gets a bit of help though. Once more we see the Abathur just like trying to help him out there, but he's needed all over the map, especially as the bottom lane we still have 3 heroes. Blade is looking there with his Carrigan for an opportunity to use another jump in to maybe drop the Tigers. There was only 1 kill so far in the game, and that was the one that we've seen earlier. We have here in the HCL the team still going, like the prize pool is $2,500, and it is a league, it takes some time, but it's currently the most prestigious league that we have in Europe, and the games are amazing there. Oh, the initiation, nice with the level 10. They drop 2 heroes, AAA with a sudden rotation now that they reach level 10. They control both shrines, they get the Dragon Knight here as well. That was really well done, and they kill a 3rd hero. They kill Tacita. Wow, look at that from the perspective of Ouiski Coca, what's just happened here. I mean, they've been pressuring AAA so much the entire time. They were like just seconds away from getting a Dragon Knight. They got the earlier kill, they got the lead in experience. Then suddenly we see level 10 for Team AAA, and they just turn it around. It's like they run away the entire time, and suddenly like Ouiski Coca chases them, and suddenly AA turns around and just hammers their fist full force into the face of Ouiski Coca, drops 3 heroes, catches the Dragon Knight, just destroys the wall in the mid lane. The Dragon Knight moves up to the top, and the initiation with the Uther, especially down here, just to like drop the target instantly. They did so much with that, and it really looked like Ouiski Coca was not prepared for that. They didn't really see that coming. They were just like working under the assumption, alright, it's going to be okay there, but the rotation down to the bottom caught them by surprise. Then all of those heroic abilities were just fired at Ouiski Coca. It was just in a barrage of attacks coming in, and they dropped 3 heroes instantly, and now suddenly Ouiski Coca is behind by an entire level. Crazy. Really well played by the French team, the French base team I should say. We have Montiel currently catching another camp. Pajama Thor is still there. Where's Larry? Larry is dead again. Larry is dead. No Larry on the map right now. There's Larry. Larry the Locust is moving to the left again, going for his mission and trying to get some more siege damage done for Abathur himself, of course. We have both teams angling towards the bottom spot here. Oh, Blowed with the stuns against the Tychus, but Abathur is there to help him out, and both of them are just like moving away for now. But it looks like with those bribe charges that we have on Rabian and Exploding, they could actually just catch the camp here. Blowed is moving in, attacks it on his own. I have no idea what he was thinking. The rest of the team wasn't there. Apparently they were able to trick him. I'm just like imagining that discussion in TeamSpeak where it's like, okay guys, are we gonna getting it? Are we getting it? Are we getting it? And everybody's like, yeah, but it's okay, Lord. Yeah, just started. He's like, okay, I'm starting it. And everybody else just runs away. And he's like, oh, damn guys, not again. So, yeah, they just leave him alone down there. For now, they actually take in, I guess, Brightwing and Falset helped out with the bribes. But the rotation to the top was a smart one by AAA, because what we are seeing now, well, they have to go for a trade here. They have to try and trade a fort for a fort. And with the speed that we see AAA use to drop the fort here, they're just gonna progress towards the wall there. And, well, we will see a recall back by Ouiski Coca. And I actually assume that at this point they will have to move back before they drop the fort. Apparently they really want to just like chance it. And this is getting like tricky. They are most likely gonna lose a keep here. Or the keep is gonna be extremely low. I mean, they're taking it, and now they're being back. There they are. But they lost the wall, and here's the double Odin right now. That's, of course, the danger if you're going up against that Abathur. Double Odin, and nice shock and awe that we've seen used there. Oh my god, like the Kerrigan surviving for so long, but dying in the end after all. But the Uther dies now as well. Nasty on the Archon, moves away in the last seconds, being healed by Ravi with a quick blink heal. Von Thiel is currently still in his heroic ability form. Goes for the triple locust, but the Tychus is dropped, the Uther has dropped. It's a 2-for-2 right now, and here comes Ouiski again, jumping in against Siark and killing him now off as well. So suddenly we have 15 versus 15, but the 16 is so close for AAA, and that will give them the triple locus on the Abathur, where he can start to unfold his full, like, dangerous force upon the map and just, like, start taking the siege damage in. That's where he's really getting, like, especially strong, and that is going to be quite scary for Ouiski Coca, especially since they, I think, do not have a mule. They are going to get a Dragonite, though, but let me check up on that mule. Yes, no mule for them. A mule on the Abathur, but no mule for the Tassadar, so they can't heal up those structures again, and that's going to become a problem later on when the Abathur really starts to do his damage against structures. For now, though, it is actually Ouiski Coca that is trying to use the incentive in the game here, sorry, they're taking the initiative and using the momentum here. We have them moving into the middle of the map, Abathur already up at the top, with Larry moving to the left, and the kick against Darrow, they're going to get this for sure. The question is, do they get a kill? No. No kill for them. Only the fort is being dropped here. They get that. But yeah, this is starting to do quite some damage down here. The Abathur is starting to pressure that in, and that's the problem. With the keeps already exposed, the Abathur is definitely their biggest threat right now. Because while they push in the middle, Abathur is pushing the top in, and this is getting extremely dangerous. When those keeps fall, then Abathur now can even jump in and start promoting a couple of catapults, even though he has to be very close. Would have to do that anyways. For now, we have the top wall taken. Down here, still Abathur doing his damage, and this keep already has no shots anymore left. So they need to be moved back and try to defend that. The bottom lane is being pushed in still by one of those mercenaries that we see. We have a camp also about to be taken. 5 seconds left on the knights that they want to get here. But yeah, kills right now are 4 kills versus 5. So very close when it comes to the kills. We have now the triple rewind. That makes Ouiski Coca extremely dangerous. That triple rewind. We have 1 shrink rate to try and deal with that a bit, but Brightwing with a double W can go for twice the polymorph. You have Falstad, you can go for Lightning Storm twice. He can also, of course, use his overdrive now with a shock and awe. Kerrigan with the rewind is extremely dangerous since she can't use the Primal Grass combo twice in a row, which is absolutely insane on that hero if she has the mana pool to do it. And there we go already. Von Hill roughly taken out of the Odin form with a stun. Bloat is being just blown up in an instant, though. This is really what Ravi needs to do. Keep that Uther in lockdown. Keep that Uther... he dies as well. He needs to keep him polymorphed. I feel this is like his biggest task in the game. Of course, there are other heroes that you would also love to be polymorph, but the Uther is the big challenge, since he's the one who can really just lock you down with the stun, and especially his ultimate is extremely strong in those team fights. So right now, another 4 kills for Team AAA, and they are gaining so much momentum with that they can now start to drop keeps. They have another 10-15 seconds to like break through the wall and maybe take the first keep down. The Abathur is jumping to the top, is starting to use his promotes and also the triple locust as well as the Abathur mines. We have the wall already breached, and oh wow, they are actually moving back. What are they trying to do here? 17 seconds on the shrines. I would have expected them to at least take the second tower and breach that wall, which they didn't do. They just move back, take the bottom knights, the bruiser camp, and I guess then they're gonna focus on getting another Dragon Knight. It's not really gonna work though. I mean, right now it's like they're not getting the Dragon Knight easily. That's what I was meaning to say, because we have at the top still a completely exposed shrine. Yes, they're 2 levels ahead. Well, let's say like one and a half. But the problem is that it's still the same talent. So the level 20 is going to be an important one. But for now, in a fight, at least the talents that they rely upon are going to be the same. The stat advantage that they are having is definitely a significant one, but it's not necessarily a fight or game-breaking one. So now we have the bottom lane starting to be pushed in, but at the top they are losing the keep now. That's the danger going up against an Abathur. If you have no defense at your walls anymore, you're losing keeps, and that's what's currently happening there for them. So Bloat is already moving back together with the rest of the team. They need to defend here. And now we are going to see AAA move straight down to the bottom to take that shrine. Ravi needs to hurry up with that Hearthstone move, because if he is being caught out here, then they are just moving in and taking another keep. AAA, that is, of course. Ouiski Coca hasn't won a single game, and I don't think, if I remember the standings correctly, that AAA has won a game yet either. So both teams are really just fighting for their first victory in the league, and if you drop 0-3, then you have a very tough season ahead of you. We have down to the right side, actually now that both shrines are taken, also Ouiski in a position where they cannot really move up to the top and then just claim one of those shrines. They're trying to isolate a hero and fight that, but I think that trap is already detected. Yep, they're looking for it, and they're going to do the same thing to the bush right over here, because they know they have to be somewhere. Well, there comes the Chen, and where's that polymorph on the... Ooh, like, I cannot believe that he doesn't polymorph that Uther. He doesn't apparently want to go for him. They're trying to drop the rest, but Kerrigan is dead again, and here follows the Brightwing, and also, well, the Tacita is extremely low already, and once they have win that fight, and they've already won it, they can take the Dragon Knight and maybe even finish the game here. They have level 20 at this point, and, well... Sky High is starting to move in, and he is trying to take the Dragon Knight now. Falstad just barely escaped. The Chen is still to the right side of the map. Ouiski has to move back now. He doesn't have his Auric ability anymore, and they're just moving up to the top. They want to end the game now. AA wants to end the game. I personally think that really for the polymorph, the Uther would be the better target, just because the CC that he adds to the team fight. If you take that out and the heal, it's easier for you to drop a target and just leave the rest with the stun up to the Kerrigan. That's probably the smarter choice there. Be it as it may, right now Ouiski Coca in trouble, and it looks like we will see AAA take this game now. They drop the core easily with a Dragon Knight, and this is the first game in the HCL that AA wins. Congratulations to them, taking down Ouiski Coca in this best of 1 on Dragonshire. The fourth game of the day in the HCL is mYinsanity versus Millenium, aka El Nexo, aka the Spanish Armada, and it is Haunted Mines, the map that nobody really thought we would see today. Vortex on the Abathur is starting to the left side in blue for Millenium, and we currently have Gran Paquete on, well, Lucifron. We actually need to adjust that overlay real quick, and we're going to do that. So at this point we have Millenium starting to the left with Lolver 60 on the Vala. We have Alistair on the Tacita. Lucifron is playing the Arthurs as mentioned. To the right side of the map it is mYinsanity with Lowell on the Chen. Ace of Spades is playing the Uther here. Awaragi switched on an Azebo, and Shinobu is playing Falstad as Freds hopped on Kerrigan. Not literally. so don't get any naughty thoughts in your head. But yeah, Mines is of course a bit of a special case. If you compare Mines to the other maps that we have in the pool right now, it's very special because the early game is just like so important. The first time that the mines open and the heroes go down there to collect the skulls, you reach level 4 either roughly, like shortly before you go down, or in the mines itself. So the level 4 talent and strong early game heroes are extremely important if you play on this map, which is one of the reasons why we saw an early ban on Zagara even, which is a very strong early game hero. And another point is also that Kerrigan got picked as one of the first heroes in the game just because her Envenom on level 4 is extremely strong, as is of course the Envenom on the Arthurs. The usual setup is that you push on the lane where your golem spawns as heavily as you can to drop one of those towers, and we see that at this point with mYinsanity going to the top lane with 4 heroes, and at the bottom lane we have 4 heroes for El Nexo. So both teams just trying to push as hard as they can. It's the normal meta on this map. Another thing that you will see is that the teams are going to take their siege giants after the mines have opened and after the skulls have been divided, because they use them defensive and not in an aggressive fashion during the mines, which is kind of important. We're going to come back to that later on. For now, it's just something that I want to point out while we talk about some technicalities on the map itself. Right now, with experience, we see both teams just trying to drop those towers, and the wall down here at the bottom is already like wrecked. We have at the top lane Abatha helping out. That's one of the reasons why he's actually very decent on this map in particular, because he can help with that. I'm still a bit surprised that we see him at the bottom lane for now. Oh, actually, no, sorry. That's, of course, the way he should be, because his locusts that move in will, while the fight in the mines is going on, deplete the ammunition on the forts here, and that will help the golem. So we have mYinsanity moving down to the mines first. We have 2 heroes still up to the top and trying to grab one of those towers. It's actually interesting that only 2 heroes are down there. They kind of give the mines over to El Nexo, which is quite uncommon. So that timing apparently didn't work out for them. You can really see how at this point the Spanish team is getting way ahead in the skull count, which is extremely important. Both teams are on level 4 right now. Kerrigan is jumping in for the stun combo against Lucifron, getting a good one off here, and there goes Arthurs. He's already dead. There was very little heal from Brightwing at that point. Gran Paqueta is also getting Envenom, but speeds away in the last second. Abatha is helping him out here. Tua Aragi gets a heal from the Uther just before it's being dropped here. Great job so far by mYinsanity. They get another wall of zombies in, but the jump against Aragi, and he is so close to dying, but he gets away. So even with that kill that we saw, the mines in the hands of the Spanish Armada. The Spanish Inquisition is getting skull after skull after skull, and they are already looking at a really decent amount there. They're having 52, and mYinsanity is looking very reluctant to go for that. Lucifron at the top is being dropped by them again. The problem really is it doesn't help them because they don't get the skulls, and the skulls are the really important thing here. The objective is just so important. They won't be able to get all the skulls of the golem, but they're already looking at 68. And now they're just like moving away here. So it's going to be a good golem for them, 68 to 32. That's what's going to be on the board at the end of this round. And we are having the mid, of course, now taken by El Nexo as well, by Millenium. The thing that's really important, and which I touched upon earlier on, is that you get your siege giants. And what you do is you defeat the siege giants, but you don't capture them just yet. You leave the circle B up to the point where your opponent golem roughly reaches the wall. Then you capture the siege giants, and that will result in your siege giants being positioned roughly over here, so behind the gate. In this case, it doesn't matter too much because the gate is already down, but usually it's still intact. So the siege giants will be here fighting a golem that is out there. So the opponent's team can't kill the siege giants, which is quite important. And that's also what we are most likely going to see now from both teams, even though the gates have already been breached. That's one of the reasons, or one of the tricks, how you can usually try and like get your siege giants to help you drop the golem, which is exactly what we see here. Lucifron is probably going to even wait a little bit longer. Nope, there he goes. Golem is roughly at the wall, and there he takes it and just like starts to move in. The team with a bigger golem is usually the team that starts to push the most with more heroes, and we have already 3 heroes down at the bottom trying to just like drop that fort down, and of course the experience at this point is incredibly important. If you are able to drop, and look, the ammunition, it's gone because of the Abathur, because of the Locusts. The ammunition is gone. That fight in the mines, he was just spawning the Locusts still at the bottom, and now that Golem is going to drop that 4. Up here at the top, Alistair can keep it alive together with the help of those giants there. So it's going to be 4 versus no 4. They've attempted kills against LOL versus XD and Granca Paquete, not really moving in, and that Golem will be in a great position for the next, so for Millenium for the next round in mines. So the important thing also is that they gain a lot of experience because they take those structures down right now. If they are able to get level 10 before they move into the mines the next time, then we will see them in an incredibly good position, since there's no way that mYinsanity can actually fight them down there. So everything is lining up extremely well for them now. That Golem is still doing damage, as you can see, and quite significantly one at that. It's already positioned at the wall towards the keep. We have to the top lane. This one's still alive. Abathur also has a mule, which makes him even more important on this map, since he can just like replenish the ammunition and the hit points. And with level 9, it's a great spot for Millenium to be in, because right now all that they have to do is like stay tight, like sit tight, don't do anything, like don't overextend, don't do anything, just like get the experience from the lanes that are being pushed in right now, get as much of that as they can, stay together, don't die, and just like wait for the next round. They know that they are ahead in experience, and they need to run with that advantage, and if they are able to do that, they will enter the next mines with level 10 and then have the heroic ability, and it will be extremely difficult for mYinsanity to contest that. So that game went very well. Like, despite the fact that we have like 0 kills for El Nexo, then a great spot. They kill a tower now, and bam, they're level 10. They're level 10 and they have the heroic abilities. And let's look at this setup real quick. We have Vala with a multi-shot build using the Rain of Vengeance, and interestingly enough with the searing attacks as well. So a pure damage build on the Vala here. And Venom taken, and you can see that Nazeebo also took in Venom here. That helped in the last fight a lot for mYinsanity, but still they didn't take enough skulls. Now they're being pushed back. It could be level 10 versus level 10. The mine counter has not started, so looking at this, mYinsanity should be able to get the 10 before they head down into the mines, which is extremely important. And that's also the case because Shinobu, in the entire time, is like pushing the bottom lane and gathering up experience there as well. 30 seconds, more than enough time for them to get the 10. So they will be on even footing here, but we will have a stat advantage, most likely for Nexo, since they are currently looking at close to level 11. My apologies, by the way, that I'm always saying like El Nexo or Millenium and not really focus on one, but a lot of like viewers just know this team under the name El Nexo. They joined Millenium for the HCL, but they still play under the El Nexo tag in other leagues. We have, with an extremely ugly dinosaur thingy, now Vala starting to move in. Actually, double Vala, since we have the copy on Vortex. And that's where they move in right now. Oh, what a great move again. Oh my god, the insta-drop against 2 heroes of mYinsanity. Great shot that we had there with the Rain of Vengeance. And now there comes Aragi with a drop against the copy of the Abathur, but he himself cannot get away. He at least dropped the Abathur of the copy, but that does help his teammates only slightly. The only thing that they are trying to do is catch as many skulls as they can. The Lowell here, is he going to try and fight Vala? I doubt it. He's most likely going to die. No, he's not. He actually gets away. Oh my god! Did you see that Abathur shot? That was such a close one. The Falstad is still on the hunt for more skulls, but he is most likely going to die now as well. No, he tries to... No, god, he gets polymorphed a second before he can fly away. So we have 4 kills against 2 now in favor of Millenium, aka El Nexo, and a massive, massive golem spawning for them as well. They will have a 70 skull golem to go in against it, and that golem is already in a great position here, right next to the wall that he can drop. And I can promise you one thing, Millenium is gonna try and push that as hard as they can, and that is not gonna be pretty. I mean, we are seeing Freds on the Carrigan now moving even into the middle. They are thinking about maybe taking the Knights, but they know they don't have the time anymore, really. We're also gonna see the level 13 in just a second for Millenium, and with Millenium having the 13, they have the extra talent, and they're gonna pick that any second. You can really see how that starts to matter. With so many heroes on mYinsanity, actually 3 that are in melee range, Frost Shot is extremely good. The Rewind is amazing for the Brightwing right now, so this is gonna matter a lot as well. And of course the Assault Strain on the Abathur is always great to have too, and that talent alone is gonna give them a huge edge. Then there's the stat advantage to consider, and that strong Golem. I mean, look how that Golem is just wrecking towers with that slam right now. He absolutely goes ham on them. And we have halfway dropped already, which is actually quite impressive by mYinsanity, but that keep is in a really, really tough spot right now, especially with nearly the entire Millenium team already being in position. It's just waiting for an opportunity to drop a hero. Lowell and the rest of the team just trying to drop that golem as fast as they can. There's going to be another slam in just a second, and that slam alone is going to take down the keep there. They don't even have to wait for that. The golem is just moving farther forward towards the core, and it's going to be in a perfect position later to get exactly that. Moves in, and yeah, he's not going to do any damage to the core, but he's going to be in a perfect spot later on. Especially since the golem up here, look at that, he still didn't move past the fort. That damn fort isn't even down. So all that the Tacita has to do right now, or the Abatha, is just drop a mule there and make sure that he doesn't die and heals up again. In the meantime, Millenium, of course, took the camp in the middle of the map, and they're already moving up to the top to take another fort and maybe even get a kill there. It's level 14 versus level 12, and they still don't have the 13 talent, which is why they don't want to fight here. And they're going to lose that. They're going to lose that fort. Simply as that. They're going to lose it. Oh my god, Fred's missing actually his stun combo. But here we have Araragi in a great position. Nice, really well done. Araragi is getting his entire heroic ability in. And, well, Uther is down. The Shock and Awe not hitting enough. Kerrigan dying as well. Even with Araragi doing this much damage, the team is nearly getting wiped there. 3 heroes already down. Lucifer might have another Howling Blast. And if he does, then Araragi is going to die as well. And there he goes. Araragi down. 4 heroes killed, 8 kills against 2. Millenium is once again just underlining why they are currently the strongest team in Europe, why they are just like so damn strong, and that the nickname Spanish Armada is well deserved. The only thing that can stop them is an all UK team, I feel. Like nothing else will have the power to take the Spaniards down, at least if history is any... yeah, if history is going to repeat itself, or is any indicator for that. 30 seconds for the mines once again, and well, with level 16 and additional talent now again for the team, that Locust Brood alone is going to be tough, because Vortex can always just like start to push the top lane as well and maybe try to take down another fort. Of course, what mYinsanity has to do right now, they have to go down in the mines and have to fight. They cannot afford to have a strong golem against them. With the golem already positioned right next to the core, there's just no way for them to give that up. And we have down in the mines already spreading out. Millenium in a position where they are getting the first few skulls. They are actually getting a significant number of those. Just now mYinsanity is moving down way too late at this point. 37 skulls are already in the hands of their opponent's teams. 51. All that they can hope for isn't even split. They're looking for the fight, but even if they've wiped Millenium right now, they will be in trouble. The slow on the multi-shot is pretty good. Here comes a nice position. Oh, great Shock and Awe together with that. But we have now the attempted drop on our Araragi as Uther is already down. Alistar on the Archon is dishing out the damage, moving away with a phase shift as he's in trouble. He's getting chased now, but Kerrigan is dropped as well. Shinobu is so low, but gets away somehow. Moves back in. Shinobu is still alive, and he gets away. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Lowell might die though. Yeah, he is not gonna escape there. If he's in vision just for a second, then he is gonna die. And oh my god, it looks like Lowell 60 doesn't see him. He doesn't see him, and Lowell gets away. That was a close one. But, well, the problem that they're still facing here is that it's gonna be a 100 skull golem. 100 skull golem 13 minutes in, and of course those additional kills that we saw down in the mines against the Nazeeba and the Kerrigan. We have 11 kills against 3 now, and that golem alone is just gonna wreck face. As it happens though, it looks like this is gonna be a pretty interesting fight between Krampaketa, Alistar, and the boss down here. Okay, finally he's being dropped, but this is just bad news. This golem is going to take so much damage of the core, like so many hit points of the core. It's gonna be massive. And right now, I mean, what exactly can mYinsanity do? Pray, I guess. They need divine intervention if they want to win this game and turn this around. They don't even have the 16 talent, and I pointed that out earlier when Millenium reached that level, that it's such an important talent to have. We have catapults pushing in. We have Abatha with a triple locust that he can spawn at any time. Alistar is on the way. and that golem is gonna drop. And you know what? This like 0 skull golem is he's not gonna do shit. He's not gonna do anything. That 4 is still not gonna die. So with 3 golems moving in, the fort is still not gonna get dropped, and this might be game. This might be it. This is the last stand of mYinsanity here. Millenium is there. Here comes the Spirit. We have Nazebo using his old Karrigan, is moving in with the Maelstrom. Immediately the drop against the Karrigan, though. She's the first one to die. Ace of Spades is being attacked. Here comes the Rain of Vengeance. He dies too. And guess what? This is going to conclude this game. This is going to be GG. Even with the Mule trying to heal the core up, there's just no way. That Golem is a monster, and he's just going straight for it. This is game. This is Millenium, aka Nexor, taking out mYinsanity here at the HCL. Congratulations to them winning this important best of 1 on the Haunted Mines.